may take our seats. Allow me to welcome you all, ladies and gentlemen, to 2022 ZNCC Business Review Conference. You have done well to come. I've already apologized for starting late. We want to thank you for being punctual. Some of our delegates will be joining us as we proceed. But I want to thank you. The theme for this year's conference is bolstering resilience and innovativeness for sustainable growth. So before we delve into that, let me do the needful in terms of recognizing the protocol that we have here. I'm sure as we interact, we'll be able to know each other, we'll get to meet each other and interact more as we talk about sustainable growth. So allow me to recognize the presence of the Egyptian ambassador in Zimbabwe, Her Excellency Ms. Salwa Mwafi. Welcome and thank you for coming. Allow me also to recognize the presence of the Deputy Minister of Finance and Economic Development, Clemens Chibua, the Deputy Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development, Honorable Remo Machingura, the Permanent Secretary of Industry and Commerce, Dr. Mavis Swanda, the Deputy Governor will be joining us of the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. I'm sure some of us have seen him on the newspapers. Today we'll be able to interact with him, Dr. Innocent Mashe, the Senior Director in the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, Ms. Florence Makombe, Senior Government officials here present, the Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce President, Mr. Mike Kamgeremu, President over there, the Deputy President of the Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Charlton Chimbira, Chief Executive Officer of the Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Christopher Mugaga, normally call him the richest man in Babylon, the Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce, Executive Committee members here present and the staff, the CZR President Denford Mutashu, the CZI Retailers President Mr. Masheza, he will be represented also. Other business leaders and captains of industry and commerce here present, members of the fourth estate, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 2022 ZNCC Business Review Conference. Just put your hands together for yourself for being here. Allow me, as the Director of Ceremony this morning, my name is Tamuka Macheka, to give you freedom of this conference. So you will be free to contribute, knowing that your contributions will be taken seriously, and afterwards, nothing happens in terms of retribution or anything. So we want honest opinion. We want, if we are to talk about growth, if we are to talk about sustainability, we need to be stubborn with the truth and tell it as it is. At times, that is what builds the nation, that is what builds organization, that is what builds individuals. It also builds families, not even forgetting churches. So the truth is critical. The business of saying, I want to agree with the previous speaker is expired. So we don't want to just agree with the previous speaker. I also want to add my voice to the previous. I also want to agree. So please remove that from your vocabulary. We want to hear your views, your comments, your input, your contribution, what you think should be done. Because if we are to talk about bolstering resilience and innovativeness, we need to move out of the ordinary way of doing things. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome the President of the Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Kamgeremu, to come and give us his welcome remarks.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that's better. Allow me to begin by agreeing with the previous speaker and observe protocol. The Director of Ceremonies, Mr. Tamuga Macheka, who is also the ZNCC past president, the Egyptian ambassador to Zimbabwe, His Excellency Ms. Salwa Rafi, the Deputy Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology, Deputy Minister of Finance and Economic Development, Chibiwa, Permanent Secretary to the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, Dr. Mavis Manda, our mother, Deputy Governor of the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, Dr. Innocent Mashe, who will be joining us later, the Chief Director in the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, Ms. Florence Makombe, and also Mr. Runyowa, who is here present, senior government officials who are here present, the ZNCC Deputy President, Mr. Charlton Chimbira, and the ZNCC NEC members who are here present. Probably you can just indicate by raising up your hand so that colleagues can see you, the NEC members who are here. Oh, fantastic. I see the VP Nationality, Madame Takundwa is there, Madame Moyo is there, Dr. Tambuza is there. Oh, Mr. Chawaneka is there. Thank you very much for coming. The CEO, Mr. Christopher Mugaga, and his team, the Confederation of Zimbabwe Retailers President, Mr. Denford Mutashu, other business leaders and captains of industry here present, members of the Fourth Estate, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure and singular honor to welcome you to the 2022 ZNCC Business Review Conference, which is running under the theme Fostering Resilience and Innovativeness for Sustainable Growth, where topical issues relating to the local and global economy are deliberated as we close the year. The conference was added on the Chamber's calendar of events to facilitate the convergence of key stakeholders under one roof to discuss issues pertaining to industry and commerce. Broad aspects relating to the policy environment are discussed in an endeavor to lay down a sustainable path towards growth and profitability. Accordingly, the Business Review Conference continues to be a unique platform where all business member organizations, which include Bankers Association, Confederation of Zimbabwe Industries, Confederation of Zimbabwe Retailers, SMEs Association of Zimbabwe, Employers Confederation of Zimbabwe, among others, are represented. In 2022, the Chamber has hosted high-level conferences across various parts of the country, which are earmarked to facilitate stakeholder consultations and engagement to discuss issues pertaining to industry and commerce, and facilitate deliberation culminated in policy considerations. Some of the conferences include the ZITF Business Luncheon that we held in April 2022, the ZNCC Annual Congress, which we held in Victoria Falls in June, the Women in Enterprise Conference and Awards, which we held in September, the Trade and Investment Conference, which we held last month in Bulawayo, where we also hosted the Secretary General of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, His Excellency Wamkele Mene. Through the ZNCC Training School, which is headed by our dear Dr. Tambizai, who is in the room, we continue to provide training to the business community in partnership with developmental organizations such as UNDP and academia. Accordingly, the 2022 Business Review Conference comes at a time when various policy interventions were announced by the central government since the beginning of the year, and therefore seeks to provide an opportunity for key stakeholders to deliberate on the extent to which some of these policies have been effective in addressing the issues affecting the Zimbabwean economy. I think we've already been told by the Director of Ceremony that we must be free. He has guaranteed our freedom after speech. So let's be open to honestly interrogate issues and chart a way forward. As a result, the 2022 Business Review Conference seeks to identify areas of improvement as we head into 2023, guided by current realities. Ladies and gentlemen, following the launch of our inaugural survey report in December 2021, the Chamber of Commerce comes through again, this time around, with its latest offering, which is the second edition of the ZNCC State of Industry and Commerce Survey. This flagship survey, which we are launching today, will continue to be a premier source of up-to-date information on industry's performance related to capacity utilization across all the major sectors of the economy, business confidence in the economy, ease of doing business in the economy, and new business establishments from 2021 getting into 2022. The Chamber relishes the continued partnership with Frederick Norman Foundation for Freedom in conducting this survey. The Chamber's strength lies in collaborative work with the government of Zimbabwe and development partners. We can see that government is here today. Development partners are here today because we are working together with them. We hope for continued effective collaborative efforts in building our economy. The Chamber, its Executive Council, the Secretariat, and the broad membership greatly appreciates the government of Zimbabwe and the development partners for positive consideration on initiatives that are brought forward from time to time. They're always knocking on their doors. The aim is to bring a positive change to the Zimbabwean economy as the business community seeks to assist in transforming the motherland and enhance the friendliness of the operating business environment. Through our lobbying and advocacy efforts, we continue to call for policies that promote entrepreneurship and innovation. Even Vision 2030, we understand that we are the engine through which that vision is going to be achieved. Government only creates an enabling environment, and then we as business then deliver the goods. So through our lobbying and advocacy, we continue to also challenge policies that we feel are not promoting the business. So from time to time, you hear us making noise. We all want the environment to improve so that business can do well and then Zimbabwe can then succeed. We endeavor to ride on entrepreneurial talents to facilitate a private sector-led economic recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic and the profound economic challenges that we are facing, partly due to both endogenous and exogenous factors. Some of these policies include privatization, deregulation, and liberalization. ZNCC acknowledges all stakeholders. We have continuously engaged the Chamber as the key player in driving sustainable and inclusive growth. Colleagues, as we close the year 2022, the survey report which we are launching gives a clear reflection of what the business community has gone through amidst inflation, high interest rates, volatility of the exchange rate, unpredictable policy environment, the growing informal sector, power challenges, and subdued aggregate demand. One thing for sure is that all this shall come to pass. It's just a phase. We need to remain positive. I also wish to highlight that in every dark cloud, there's a silver lining. So despite all these challenges, there are also some positives that we need to take stock of. I think we all confirm that we have been enjoying some stability as we are drawing closer to the end of the year. We have all seen the narrowing gap between black market rate and the official rate. We have all seen slowing down inflation. We've all seen and witnessed the improvements on the auction record. We've all seen the resurgence of the willing buyer, willing seller market with the interbank market, which has continued now started producing the goods and people are getting foreign currency. We've also seen the Minister of Finance responding to our calls and proposing in the latest budget for review of the 4% IMTT from 4% to 2% on foreign currency transaction. Those are some of the positives that we need to also just point at as we continue to engage with our policymakers. I salute the resilience of the Zimbabwean business community. We have managed to remain resolute as we navigated from challenge to challenge. Indeed, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. This resilience is unmatched, and I draw inspiration from all of you. Let us continue with the spirit of oneness and uplift each other to grow business even beyond our borders. The African Continental Free Trade Area, COMESA, SADC are all available for us as markets that we need to tap into. I also need to emphasize that what I've also learned interacting with other fellow business people is that some, as they are moving into these regions, they are actually abandoning their Zimbabwean operations and opening there. What benefits the country at the end of the day is operating here, produce the goods, and then we export, and then the money comes here, we create the jobs here. That is the most ideal scenario. No wonder why we continue lobbying that let's improve our own business environment so that we are able to do that. On a similar note, ladies and gentlemen, the Chamber has also registered milestones in 2022 in terms of promoting bilateral trade and investment within and beyond. We have signed a number of memorandums of understanding with chambers from other countries. I also wish to take note of the fact that we have also sent a delegation which was led by our Vice President from National just last week. We were in South Africa, where there was an exhibition which was being hosted by the Pakistan government and the Pakistan business community. And with the team that went there, I actually got a message from the ambassador of Pakistan to Zimbabwe yesterday saying that the conference and the exhibition was a success and they actually want a follow-up meeting. Those are some of the efforts that we are putting as the chamber to promote brand Zimbabwe and create markets for our products and also get partners for our local business people. So we all need to then take advantage of that as we march into 2023. So 2023 is about board reforms and board infrastructure. Let's endeavor, particularly to our policymakers and those that are charged with handling investors. Let's create a red carpet for investors so that when they come, it's very easy and simplified and we avoid unnecessary red tape. However, even though from the survey, as we shall hear, some business people still feel that there is uncertainty, some still feel that confidence levels are low, we find encouragement in the fact that our government and key institutions are confident and they are indicating that indeed the fundamentals are strong, and we also have a very strong working relationship with them, like I highlighted before, and we continue to engage. We as business, we are ready to play our part in finding solutions to the current problems. One issue that everyone is aware of is the power issue. And we have said as the business sector, as the Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce, we need to play our part in solving the problem, other than just complaining and complaining and complaining. And we are engaging the authorities in trying to find short-term, medium-term, and long-term solutions to the problem. But as a person who is also in the power industry, my advice to all of you as business people is for you to also invest in alternative sources of power, or solar, feed back into the grid, the excess energy that we may be generating. It may be small, but the sum total of the small contributions will be huge for Zimbabwe, and that can actually help the economy. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this opportunity to wish you fruitful deliberations during this conference, and also to have a happy festive season and a prosperous 2023. Let's continue working hard in developing our motherland in unity and in peace. Zimbabwe is blessed. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President, for that inspiring speech. We will put our hands together again for him. At times I operate prophetically. I just want to be prophetic. I want to see the reaction here in Qatar and what's happening there. Zimbabwe obviously is drawing inspiration from the teams that are taking part there. We are not in the terraces, we are not watching. We are just taking notes and observing and placing our cards. So I want to congratulate Morocco in advance for lifting the World Cup. You see, these are mixed reaction. So Morocco is part of us. Morocco is representing us, is carrying our flag in Qatar as Africa. So we are not, so they are not the only ones. Everyone is a Moroccan right now. They are running behind Morocco. So even if Morocco is playing against your favorite team, Portugal or whatever, you support Morocco. Yeah, for sure. If you support Portugal, you are a sellout. You are a saboteur. And you know where saboteurs belong. So yeah, this is what we are behind. Right. Thank you, Mr. President, for the inspiring speech. A couple of takeaways from there. As NCC Business School, so I think get more information on the business school. He emphasized freedom after speech. State of the industry and commerce survey. I brought my last year survey just to look at whether we're growing or we're not growing, how things are going. I know some of the factors will be captured there, but I just brought the hard copy. I wanted to see an improvement and so forth. And from the outer side in, something like that. He said business is the engine of the industry. A business is the engine for attainment of Vision 2030. And I was just taking some notes and I said, okay, so if Vision 2030, if we don't achieve it, it means the engine has not pulled through. Is that what it means, Mr. President? Because if you can't go up the mountain with your vehicle because of engine failure, it means the vehicle has failed you. So are we playing our part so that we will get there? So we continue to negotiate and to lobby for policy interventions. So policies are basically like service agent, whether it's minor service or major service taking place so that this engine can perform and achieve whatever needs to be achieved. And he says all these challenges will come to pass. And he said, do not keep blind or maintain some bit of blindness on the silver lining. Watch out for that silver lining. It's always there in all challenges. And he said, let's not abandon ship and open businesses out there. Let's expand businesses here and export, and so forth and so forth. And he said, 2023. I like the emphasis. I was just behind him, and when he talked about this one, I could see even his stance changed. As he was speaking, he was like this. And when he spoke about 2023, he said, 2023 is for bold reforms and bold infrastructure. So his stature was also changing. So ladies and gentlemen, get inspiration from what the president is saying. 2023 is for bold reforms, bold infrastructure, bold decisions. So play your part in the game. Let's put our hands together again for him. Thank you very much. As we move on with our program, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to recognize the partners that have